Grief is a strange thing. People often talk about grief as if it is an enemy. They describe it as a monster under the bed, a storm on the horizon, a wound that never heals. They tell us to fight it, to overcome it, to move on from it. And sometimes, when grief is at its worst, it really does feel like an enemy. It creeps into our thoughts when we are trying to sleep. It waits for us in quiet moments. It steals our laughter from our mouths and replaces it with silence. Grief can be cruel. It can make a crowded room feel empty. It can make a sunny day feel dark. It can turn a favourite song into something unbearable because it reminds us of someone who is no longer here. There are moments when grief arrives without warning. You could be walking down the street, scrolling through old photos on your phone, hearing a familiar voice, or even catching the scent of a perfume someone used to wear. And suddenly, you're no longer standing in the present. You're somewhere else, somewhere in the past, somewhere with that person. For a moment, they're alive again. For a moment, they're laughing. For a single moment, everything is as what it was. And then reality returns, and all that loss hits all over again. That is the bad side of grief. The side that leaves us exhausted. The side that makes us question why life can be so unfair. The side that whispers, "Why did this happen?" No matter how much time passes, grief has a way of reminding us that some absences can never be truly filled. But what if grief isn't only an enemy? What if grief is trying to tell us something? Think. We don't grieve strangers the same way we grieve people we love. We don't mourn things that meant nothing to us. Grief exists because love existed first. Every tear is evidence of connection. Every painful memory is proof that someone touched our lives in a way that mattered. In a strange way, grief is love with nowhere to go. That person is gone, but the love remains. It lingers in our hearts, searching for a place to land. That's why grief feels so heavy. Not because love has disappeared, but because it hasn't. Because even when someone leaves this world, our love for them refuses to leave with them. And maybe that's something beautiful. Painful, it is, but it's more beautiful. When we look at grief through that lens, it begins to change shape. It is no longer just a reminder of what we lost. It becomes a reminder of what we had. The conversations, the laughter, the late night talks, the shared secrets, the inside jokes that no one else understood, the memories that still live inside us. Grief teaches us that some people become part of who we are, even after they're gone. Their words stay with us. Their lessons stay with us. Their influence stays with us. And because of that, they never truly disappear. Not completely. Sometimes grief teaches us things we never wanted to learn. It teaches us how fragile life can be, how quickly ordinary moments become precious memories, how important it is to tell people we love them while we still can. Because of one day, the opportunities we assume will always be there may suddenly vanish. Grief changes us. It can make us more compassionate, more patient, more understanding. When you've experienced loss, you recognize it in other ways. You notice the sadness behind someone's smile. You understand the silence that follows heartbreak. You become gentler with people because you can't know everyone is carrying battles that can't always be seen. That is one of grief's hidden gifts. It breaks our hearts open, and through those cracks, empathy grows. I'm not saying grief is easy. I'm not saying we should be grateful for loss. No one chooses grief. No one asks for loss. And there are days when grief feels impossible to bear, days where the memories hurt more than they comfort, days where the absence feels larger than love itself. But even on those days, grief serves as a reminder that our lives were touched by someone worth missing, someone worth remembering, someone worth grieving. Grief is not the opposite to love. It is the continuation of love. It is love carrying on after loss, love searching for a new way to exist. And so while grief may never fully leave us, perhaps it doesn't have to. Perhaps we simply learn to walk beside it, to carry it, to grow with it. Because at its heart, grief is the shadow cast by love. And shadow can only exist where light once shone.